Yeah, to say this is a bombshell is an understatement. Republicans who brushed off earlier reports from the AJC, from MSNBC and other outlets of Walker's history of violence, his erratic behavior, his lies, his exaggerations on the campaign trail, they're now very, very nervous about his midterm chances. Not just because the Daily Beast alleges an act of brazen hypocrisy from a candidate who says he wants to support a total ban on abortion, but also because Herschel Walker's 23-year-old adult son has been so outspoken the last 2 days in condemning his father for running in the first place.
So you bring up his son. I do want to play a part of a video that he released just a couple of hours ago, doubling down essentially on what he tweeted out earlier. Let's watch that for just a moment, and then we'll talk.
He has 4 kids, 4 different women, wasn't in the house raising one of them. He was out having sex with other women. Do you care about family values? I'm just saying, don't lie. Don't lie on my mom. Don't lie on me. Don't lie on the lives you've destroyed and act like you're some moral family man. Y'all should care about that, conservatives.
So at this point, Greg, it's not just this woman making these allegations, which have been verified by the Daily Beast. We here at NBC have not yet seen some of these documents to verify that. But then you have this coming from inside his own family. Wondering how Republicans are reacting to all of this.
Yeah, it's raw. It's hard to watch. And we're not sure the impact of what this might look like on the campaign trail. But we already knew, even before this, there's a significant number of Republicans, conservatives, who were skeptical of Herschel Walker's candidacy, who were either going to skip the vote, they were going to vote for
Oregon's homeless crisis is no laughing matter, but one woman says the city's Democratic mayor seemed to treat it like it was some sort of joke when she confronted him about it during a city council meeting. Watch.
Stop wasting our money and destroying our beautiful city, and please start being leaders. Thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. You made your point emphatically clear.
That woman, Jillian Rose, says she moved to Portland for its progressive values, and she joins us now. Thank you very much for joining us today, Jillian. Why did you feel like it was important to respond to what appeared to be the mayor laughing off a really serious problem?
Well, first of all, Sandra, thank you for having me, but I don't think this is funny. You know, people are scared, and his policies, the policies, all of them, are not working.
You moved there 4 years ago this July. What has been your experience as a resident living there over the past several years?
It has just gotten worse and worse, and I am completely mind blown every day to go through and see what has happened to the city. It was once beautiful, and it is not anymore.
I mean, the numbers show it. We can put up the homeless crisis on the screen. The number of homeless, the population of homeless people in that city is rising as a percentage of the overall population in that city. Obviously, this is something many residents, including yourself, are dealing with. Why do you believe city officials there are not taking this seriously?
That's a great question. I think that they just don't want to change course. You know, good leaders pivot when things don't work out. They can fess up to a mistake and then change directions, and they're not doing that. They're sticking to one narrative, and that this is all due to the pandemic and rising housing costs, and that's not true.
One can make the case that if you don't feel safe walking down the street in your own town, your own city, there could be serious political consequences as a result of that. Do you believe voters will vote for change?
I sure hope they do. And I believe that there's enough of us that feel the same way, because I've had tons of people I don't even know reach out to me who have seen that city council meeting and say thank you. And tons of my friends and family, they feel the same way.
Says a lot. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a problem we hear far too much about. And thank you for telling your side of the story. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
They are some of the most fierce, most feared soldiers in the world.
A lot of people in the United States, in Europe, everywhere in the world, they still believe that we are some crazy radicals, that we are barbarians.
But these Chechen fighters shared this video from the front lines, evidence, they say, that reputation is wrong. pointing to these clips of Ukrainians cheering as they help to liberate the occupied town of Izum. This young soldier telling me, it means that we're fighting on the right side. We are fighting for the truth. It means for me that people can live a normal life, something they never had in Chechnya. Decades of resistance ending with Russian troops taking control of their ravaged homeland.
They destroy each Chechenian village, each Chechenian city, and we don't have any family who don't lost brother, mother, sister, father, grandfather.
That loss and horror mirrored in the battered towns and villages, the constant attacks and atrocities unfolding in Ukraine. The commander of the unit, now leading troops to war for the third time against Russia, and never more confident that they will win, saying, we are surely going to, because the whole world is behind us and supports us. There is, though, little if any support from the place they were forced to leave.
I'm not happy that people with same blood, with same language dying on the other side.
Thousands of Chechens have been drafted or volunteered, now fighting alongside Russian troops, highlighted by the leader of the Chechen Republic's threatening comments this weekend in support of Vladimir Putin.
Traitor is more dangerous than Russian soldiers, because this traitor, he betrayed our nation, he betrayed our culture, and he just want to killing all of us.
They are willing to risk their lives for that culture, and they say, an even bigger cause.
We fight for our freedom.
All right, Jay Gray joins Top Story tonight from Kyiv. So, Jay, how many of these Chechen soldiers are there fighting alongside the Ukrainian soldiers? And based on your reporting on the ground, how are they tactically assisting with this current surge?
Yeah, it's interesting, Tom. They won't give you exact numbers for security reasons, but do say there are several dozen that are on the ground in different areas across the front lines. They go out in small elite strike units, maybe a dozen or so, and they are deployed, of course, by Ukraine soldiers and Ukraine units. They're all going to the front lines, being used to help liberate some of these villages and towns that they are moving into during the counteroffensive.
So, Jay, you know, we've seen this reporting about the leader of Chechnya and essentially how he's siding with Vladimir Putin. Our viewers may have noticed some of the blurred out faces there. Can you talk to us, though, about how important it was not to disclose their identities, because it's such a delicate situation? We're talking about life or death here.
We absolutely are, Tom. And one thing that they made clear is it's more for the protection of their families or their extended families, some who still may be in Chechnya, and they want to make sure that they protect their families wherever they may be. And, of course, obviously, they don't want to give up their names or identities either, because they know so many people that are involved in this fight. So it's all security. But, again, they stress repeatedly it's about their extended families and concerns about what may happen to them if it's known that they're fighting for Ukraine.
And rescue personnel are continuing the search for survivors in Florida after Hurricane Ian slammed into the state's west coast, a Category 4 storm when it made landfall. Ian wiped out infrastructure and badly damaged property, with experts saying the damage bill could rise to as high as $75 billion. Dozens of storm-related deaths have been recorded, and hundreds of thousands of homes and businesses are still without power. Well, let's go to Fort Myers in Florida and talk to CBS News reporter Christian Benavides. Hello to you again, Christian. When we spoke yesterday, you were telling me that there were still some places that rescuers hadn't managed to reach. What is the picture now?
Good morning. Well, let me sort of break down what's happening, because at Pine Island, which is one of the barrier islands where search and rescue teams can't really get to by ground, they're building a bridge that's expected to be ready by the end of the week. There are about 130 Florida Department of Transportation personnel currently working to get that done. Now, this is going to be a temporary structure that's going to allow people just to sort of get into the island and get out. And let me break down what's happening as far as that rising death toll. CBS News spoke to the mayor of Fort Myers Beach. He says that he believes there are still about 24 people in this city that are unaccounted for. Now, that's just one community. We've got at least 3 to 4 other communities that are affected by this. And Fort Myers Beach is really the only area that you can actually access by ground, where the bridge is still intact and you can kind of go in and out. And we've seen dozens and dozens of search and rescue vehicles going into the barrier island, into the beach, just searching for people, looking for survivors, and also looking for victims. But as far as the other islands are concerned, those dozens and dozens of search and rescue teams are still unable to get there. So we really don't have a clear sense of what the death toll, what the final death toll is going to be until they really get in there and start looking for survivors. And now, just to be clear, survivors are able to get out by boat and by plane, but it is very difficult. As you can imagine, you're sort of counting on whoever is going to come by, because remember, cell phone access is very limited, if at all. So they don't have cell phone access, they don't have electricity, they have no way to communicate with the outside world. Hey, listen, I need help. So they're sort of at the mercy of whatever it is that these rescue crews are showing up. And there have been some reports of some people who are saying, hey, listen, I actually want to stay at my home a little bit longer before because I got to gather my belongings. I don't know when I'm going to be back, if I'm going to be back at all.
Christian, thank you so much for giving us a picture of what is going on there. It still sounds so very bad there. Christian Benavides from CBS News, live from Fort Myers in Florida.